Hi, it's the Moorlander with Moorlander EDC with continuing coverage from IWA 2024. I had to stop off at the Nextorch. Such a great stand and always make you feel welcome when you're here. So if you are here, I definitely recommend dropping in to say hello. There's a few new products this year, about 4 today to kind of focus on. The first one being the TA31. So this is a new line. In fact, this is so new. This is more of a prototype, or at least this is one of the earlier batch models. So it doesn't have some of the markings on it. So when you purchase one of these in the future, you will notice that there will be some details on the different modes, and then the model number on here. But it's not been done on this one yet. But essentially, this is 10,000 lumens. You have quite a large head on this, as you'd expect. You have 4 LEDs in here. There is a stainless steel bezel around this. It's titanium coated with ceramic beads on here. So if this needs to be used to break some glass, you'll have that. But with those 4 large LEDs in the end, you can expect that larger head. But when I turn it around onto the side, they've really gone into the ergonomics with this. And it's crazy. So rather than those kind of the wider kind of, almost like a, what's the word? A Red Bull style can. You have the full length, but it tapers down into your hand really nice. As far from the ergonomics back onto the UI with this, UI is super simple, and you have, I suppose, kind of 3 modes. Well, 2 modes and a lock. So you have a jog dial at the top, which is very easy with your thumb to be able to change between each of the modes. Currently it's on the tactical mode, so with one press gives you instant access to your 10,000 lumens, and then you've also got your strobe if you need instant access to that. Turn the dial round. I forgot which way I had to turn it then for a second. Turn the dial round, and this is more of your patrol mode or your EDC kind of mode. So when it's on, it'll start off on the lower settings, and then it will then ramp up through the different settings. Again, if you're using this for patrol, you don't want to blind people. On that kind of side though, some clever mechanics within this, clever electronics within this. So it has a depth sensor on this, so whenever something comes within about 30 centimeters from it, it will power down some of those lumens to just protect it, and I guess some light shining back at you. But with 10,000 lumens, definitely not what you want to have kind of turning on in your pocket. The last one on here, so with another click of the thumb, then puts it into lock mode, so you're not going to be able to turn this in your pocket on by accident. Really nice, really sleek, feels great in the hand. I forget the other model that I tested before, but it almost had kind of a soft touch coating to it, which this one has as well. Will be great if you're trying to use this with gloves. And then you have a hidden USB Type-C charging port in there. Very nice. That is the TA. It says it behind me, but it doesn't say it on here. TA31. There's another one which is just huge. This is a beast. This is your pocket cannon for light. This is, and I'll have to check again. So this is the Saint Torch S30. 30C, which is an update to a previous version. So this is 15,000 lumens. 3 LEDs within here. Also has a depth sensor on this to make sure anything within about 30 centimeters, it will start to kick back some of those settings. As far as the UI concerned on this, super simple. You have 2 buttons. The button at the front is instant access to your 1500 lumens. The second button is more of like on the previous one with your patrol kind of options. So you'll be able to turn this on, and then half presses will then cycle through all of the different settings that are in here. One of the beauties with this is, so the head and the battery module are separate, and the internal batteries within this will charge via USB Type-C, and you can charge the whole thing from empty to full in roughly about 2 hours, what they mentioned to me. But there's also a USB-A, is it USB-A? I think it's USB-A port on this. So if you need to use this as a charger for your mobile phone or any other electronics that you have, if you don't need to use this as a light, you can have this as a backup with an external battery as well. But it's not just, well, I suppose there is another light, And they've sent me one of these. Haven't got around to making some content on this yet, mainly because I've been using this, it's dark. And when I go out for a run, you'll know I run 2-3 times a week, and this is what I've been running with on my wrist. This is the UT51, so there's a few different modes on this. Now, even when it's not on, if, for example, you were out and you'd forgotten to charge it, which, by the way, on the end here, if I open this up, oh, wrong way, sorry. There is a USB Type-C port on here, so it's very simple, very easy when you can pull the plug out and you've not got big, fat, stupid sausage fingers. Very easy to get this recharged. But as I say, if you are out and you have forgotten to charge this, there are reflective points on this which will alert you to cars if it is that you are out running. But this can be used either in civilian use, it also can be used if you're part law enforcement, with the button that you have on the end. I think there's 5 different modes on here, so you have the, see if this comes on, yeah, it does come on. So we've got the red, we've got the blue, and then I'll press them, and there's different combinations of the reds and the blues that you can use and have this. And it works like one of those kind of slap straps, so if you're out and you know maybe that you, like I say, I've been using this when I go out for a run. Put it on my arm and then I'm out for a run and I can make sure everybody can see me. If it is that you're in the emergency services and rather than carrying this with you, you could have this in the door of your vehicle. It's night, as soon as you get out, you have this on, slap it on, and then you can be seen. Very nice. Like I need to get around to making some content on this, but it's very simple. I'm a very simple man and I like very simple products. The last one, they showed me this today. I had seen this around. As far as multi-tools are concerned, oh, sorry, wobbled you then for a second. As far as multi-tools are concerned, you see a lot of multi-tools with pliers on there. I've always been a shears kind of guy. This is the multi-tool for me. So this is, although everyone can use this, it's designed for everybody, but there are certain applications on this that can be used perfectly for police officers, for EMTs. You've got your trauma shears on there, but if you still want something that you can use for pliers, then you can still extend. It's kind of like an extendable tang on here, and you have on here you have some pliers which have a spring in there as well, which is really nice. Whereas with the shears, there isn't a spring on here, but they're large enough that you can actuate this with your hand really easily. There's a few more features on here. A lot of this can be done with one hand. So here on one side you have a knife. On the other side, see, I'm trying to do it with one hand, but I always get stuff done with one hand. I did that with one hand off camera. You have a saw, but then it's little things. So here at the top, so if I push this round here, so you have a flathead screwdriver which can go all the way up to the top. There is a second tool just behind this flathead screwdriver that if I lift up, you can use this for cutting belts, you can use this for cutting seat belts, all of that sort of stuff again, because this is kind of more towards police officers and EMT kind of people. But this now, because this second tool is in this 90-degree position, will allow me to remove this one. So if you want to, there is an attachment for this where you can put handcuff key on here as well. So it's just a second option should you need to be able to get to your keys rather than being able to find them on your belt. If this is closer to hand, then it's there. The last little one was hidden. It took me ages to try and work out where to find it. Luckily they showed me. So this it looks like it's meant to be a pivot, but it's not. This is a button which will allow this second kind of crimping tool to open up. This is great for things like your zip ties, forgot them for a second, but zip ties, zip tie handcuffs, all of those sort of things, trying to get people out of those rather than using the shears on the end. This is designed specifically so those 10mm zip tie handcuffs will fit into here. You can then close it. You don't have to worry about any other material, any stuff like that around it, because it will just get into there. Whereas maybe one of the worries with the shears on here, but zip tie handcuffs or just any kind of regular zip ties, clip those off, put it away, and it's all kind of within that one solution. Really nice. As I mentioned, this is designed for law enforcement and ENT, but just the fact that it's got scissors, it's got shears on here is a huge thing for me. So I might see if well, I won't see if I can steal it, but I'll see if hopefully they'll be able to send me one. So yeah, so that's it for Moorlander EDC, but also check out Moorlander Tactical, because we're also going to be looking at some of the amazing lights that they do here from Nextorch. But stay tuned for further highlights from IWA 2024.